I got in a conversation about the genetically engineered beakless Kentucky Fried Chickens. And what I said to the guy is, did you know years ago they used to call Kentucky Fried Chicken, and the reason they call it KFC now is because they're genetically beakless modified chickens. And he did not know that. But wait till you hear this about this manifestation. So since I couldn't sleep, I figured, all right, let's see what's on the TV. So I put on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and would you believe, I can't make this up, Abraham, thank you. Will Smith, literally like 2 minutes into the show, is in a full-fledged chicken suit, and he's holding a bucket of chicken. I can't make this up. But leading up to my question, I could cite so many things. I'm doing them like rapid fire. But here's my question to you, and I'm looking for your infinite wisdom of that collective consciousness. Please. What it is I seem to be doing this all the time, this manifestation synchronicity, one and the same on a micro level. When am I going to get those big nuggets like the Lamborghini and that love of my life inside and out? And, you know, and when am I going to get the $1 million? In fact, if I could do it on a micro level, when is the macro level coming? That's all I want to ask. I'm doing everything you're telling me, too. Believe me, and I thank you.
When you're ready to let it in.
Yes. Okay.
It's easy to let the little stuff in.
Yeah.
Because the little stuff...
So what do I do differently to let in the big stuff? Since I'm doing it with the little stuff. I do it everywhere.
You feel differently about it. What you just said to us is on a micro level, I can let it in. How do I let the big stuff in? And
on a macro level.
So your expectation, it all has to do with your expectation.
Okay.
It's easy to dream a little dream. It's hard.
Just goose it up more for the big stuff?
Well, the thing is, if you don't believe something and you goose it up, then you goose up your disbelief. So what you do is you make sure you're satisfied, and then you don't have to goose it up. Law of attraction gooses it up.
Do I just include those things in my morning thankful prayers?
You're not goosing anything up.
Okay.
Momentum is being gathered by the laws of the universe. You're not the gooser. You're not making anything happen. You're allowing it to happen. Step one, you set it in motion, and your inner being got all over it and is calling it to you. And so it's in understanding that you're not the engine, you're not the motivation, that's all set into motion by the laws of the universe and by source energy and by your own desire. Your work is to get out of the way. And it's easier for you to get out of the way of the little things than the big things.
Okay, so if I could do it with all these little things, how do I do it with the bigger things? Just so I can understand you, because I just want to do it with the bigger things. Well, you just got to
practice. Give us a subject of something big that you want, and let's do the satisfied, unsatisfied game till we work the bugs out of that. So give us a topic. Pick one.
A wonderful lady that's inside and out, beautiful inside and out.
All right, so...
To just enjoy life,
all right,
you know?
So focus there. Focus there, and tell us where that stands. In other words, how's that going?
I really don't give it any attention. I would just like that. I really don't give it
well,
much attention.
if you weren't giving it any attention, just the desire as strong as it was would have brought it about. So you're giving it plenty of opposing attention. So we're asking you, what are you doing other than noticing that it hasn't come yet?
Really nothing.
Well, then you can't find your way closer to what you want if you can't acknowledge where you are. These things are always true. What you feel and what manifests is always a vibrational match. So if you've been wanting something that's not manifesting, then you're offering a vibration that you don't know you're offering. You've got to figure that out and start offering a different vibration. So are you saying to us that you really don't think about that? We find that odd, that would be the first thing that you ask for.
Occasionally.
You're talking to infinite intelligence. We asked you, what do you want that you could clean up? And that's the first thing you brought forward, and yet you've never think about it. Well, pick something else then.
Okay, how about a brand new spanking Lamborghini?
Yeah. What color?
Blue. Caribbean blue.
Yeah? Yeah, do they make that?
I don't know. I know they do in Corvettes. I also want those.
Yeah, well,
too.
See, how much thought have you really given this thing? Have you Googled it?
How do I
have you
do
Googled it? Have you looked for it? We don't think
it?
you've been thinking that much about it. We think you just pulled it out of something right here.
Really?
You've got a theory that you've presented to us that you haven't put into practice. And your theory is big things are hard and little things are easy. So when we really ask you about it, the first two things that we've asked you that you've demonstrated to us, you've not given that much thought to.
Can I give you one more example, please, Abraham? Of a boom box. Out of the blue, for your CDs, of course, I wanted to go to Target and find one of those old CD boom boxes. And I figured this is a long shot. They're obsolete now with all these gadgets we have nowadays. So listen to this.
You have our undivided attention.
Thank you. I go to Target, and not only did they have one, they had one of two, but one of the two boxes was dinged up, and I was like the nice crisp box. So I get that, right? And I was like, in awe, completely. I started thanking God, Jesus, Source, Mother Teresa. I started thanking everything in the universe that was positive.
Did you thank law of attraction?
Law of
Did you thank
attraction?
alignment?
Yeah, I thank out loud.
Did you thank satisfaction factor? Did you thank your point of attraction? Or were you assigning it to other things that over which have no control of you?
Oh, okay, because I tried to cover it all. That was good, positive. And I was saying it out loud in the aisle.
Right.
So check this out. I go home, and I'm kind of like a softie. I love Hallmark movies. So there's this new movie out. I had DVR from this year, 2018, like a few months ago, called A Season of Love with Autumn Reeser. And I hadn't gotten around to it, just haven't had time. So I figured, I'll watch it during lunch today. Would you believe, I wrote it down, 3 minutes and 51 seconds into it. She goes to her childhood home and to help her mother with the restaurant that's not doing good. She goes in there and she couldn't believe it that there was this old CD boombox in the same spot when she was a teenager. I can't make this stuff up. I want to do it with the big stuff.
Well, see, what happened is...
And I'm making all the connections.
You carved out that path of least resistance with no resistance. You wanted a boombox for another reason, found a boombox, so there's no resistance. This is the point that we're wanting you to hear. With that little bit of conversation and experience, you carved out a pathway to a boombox. So much so that your inspiration as you moved forward was to choose a particular movie that had within it. This is something that we really want you to know. Your inner being knows where you stand in relationship to everything that you're asking for. So your inner being knows where all those boombox connections are. And in an attitude of non-resistance, it is almost an instantaneously, you said 2 or 3 minutes.
And it was, yeah. That same day for lunch.
So we're asking you, do you understand carving a path? And do you understand carving a path comparison?
Can you explain the carving a path a little bit better?
A thought carves a path. Can you make the correlation between carving a path on a subject to which you have no resistance and carving a path on a subject that you have greater resistance?
So where do I have the resistance with the big stuff? That's what I'm trying to figure out so I can pinpoint it and get the resistance away.
Well, we think it's just the subject of believing that it's...
Okay. Expectation?
Expectation is everything, but it's the labeling it as a big thing, therefore a rarer thing, therefore a harder thing, therefore a less likely thing, therefore a more unreasonable thing, therefore a thing that is harder for me to do. That's the thought process that you have carved out, you and almost everybody else. You see, this is such an interesting thing, and we so enjoyed having this conversation with you because you're explaining to us the laws of the universe as we know them about some things that are working for you. Instead of using those things that are working as a catalyst to make you believe that more things will work, you're turning them on their side and using them as catalysts to be annoyed that big things aren't working. Why do the little things work and why don't the big things work? What you want to be saying is, if this works, then everything will work. And just like this, then something else will too. That's the piece. And the reason that you or anyone wouldn't do that is because you are enamored with reality. Everything's always changing, but sometimes you will only allow it to change to more of the same. So relative to the little things, you allow them to change. But big things, they're changing all the time, but to more of the same. Changing to absence, changing to not enough, and so forth. Really good conversation. You got it, and so did everyone else.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. And as always, thank you so much.